Hello, everyone, and welcome to PaxAriaGaming with episode number 5 of Crimson Desert. So, chapter 5 is the price of knowledge. I'm getting the hang of it. So, the idea here is to investigate an explosion that happened earlier in the previous episode. And so we're coming to this place. If I can get there. Okay, I've learned some news about the dragon that I so want. Is you can only use him for 15 minutes, and he takes 50 minutes to sort of cool down. Unless you craft this special horn that allows you to shorten the cooldown window. Actually, to eliminate the cooldown window. And you don't get the dragon until, I believe it's late game, so it must be chapter 9. I think it's chapter 9. So, don't know how helpful the dragon will be. I'm going to get him anyway. Anyway, we found this little village.
There's something on your mind?
No, buddy, I'm just looking around. Nothing
The
to see
rain's
here.
been just right this season. Crops are coming up beautifully. If next year's sun is half as kind, we'll want for nothing. Greetings.
Okay, we have some abyss items that we need to gather as well. I see 1, 2. I thought I saw 3. Yeah, it's a little weird. Sometimes when you're using your lantern, the item will show up, and then as you get closer to the item, for some reason it doesn't show up, and then it shows up again later. So it's a little weird. Maybe that's a patch fix, because they did change the way the abyss teleport
Yes.
thingies look. They have a little bit of a red glow around them now. Not in this game, not in this particular episode, but in the future episodes, you'll see it. Whereas before, they were just sort of flat. So I guess if you're not using your lantern and you're looking, you can actually see them. But you'd have to be pretty close to see them. Yeah, you're not going to... You wouldn't see them from far away without the lantern. In between episodes, I've always sort of explored parts of the map, tried to unlock teleport points so that I wouldn't have to take 25 minutes to travel there.
Celeste, Marquis Allen Circus, Marquis Stephen Lanford. Truly, we're blessed with remarkable folk. If you walk near the mansion, you may cross their path.
Yeah, buddy, I know. 18 other people have told me that. Okay, so... Find the person in need of our help. So we're going to go and talk to this chap.
I can't do this anymore. Do it yourself. I don't care about you or this bloody business.
You just try touching those jars.
My toe! I'm sick of this.
I've been nothing but good to you.
So, you just needed someone to boss around. I quit. Handle this yourself.
Oh,
You ungrateful shite.
of all times the damn kiln blows now.
The kilns here seem quite special.
Special? More like a masterpiece. A marvel of ancient craft. Big enough to swallow stones as large as a troll and then some. Shove anything in there and hauling it around becomes, well, easy as pie. It's not something your average artificer could dream up. This kind of work isn't as easy as it looks. Still, that blasted kiln's blown to bits. Now what?
So why haven't you fixed it?
You think it's that simple? Fixing it is easy. Finding the fuel for it is the real problem. Don't stand there blocking my view.
Okay, so we have a puzzle.
Quit bothering me. I've got more than enough troubles already.
Dude, leave me alone. Let me figure out this
If you're
puzzle.
not here to fix the kiln, get out of the way.
So the solution to the puzzle is to line up 4 of those symbols, the same symbol. They're a bunch of different symbols, but in order to get this part of it to work, you have to line up the same symbols. So you can look up top and you can see where they are. Okay. You have to turn a hand crank in order to line them up in a particular way, so that when you turn this big lever thing here, it actually will line up. And you see the lights on the crank at 4? It should mean we should get them. There we go. So that gives you a little bit of a hint as to whether you're moving in the right direction or not. Okay, so we did this part. And it's not a difficult puzzle. It's not exactly trial and error, but if you... I guess the problem I had was, if I got it wrong the first time, is there a way to reset it back to what it was, or does that really matter? And I think it really didn't matter, as long as you figured out a way to line them all up. Now our task is to go and fix each of 3 different kilns that spread out in this area. This is one. We saw one on the other side when we were looking down from the power thing. And you don't do them all the same way. This first one, you have to fit 2 pieces on top and use the force palm in order to connect the pieces. Another one, you just have to connect the conduit, I guess is what you call the long wire. So it took me a while to figure this out. I was like, okay, what am I supposed to do? Well, you're supposed to use your axion force to lift it up. This is the 3rd one. I put the other one up already. Position it up. Make sure you get it right, otherwise it won't work. Right. And then you that looks like as good as it will get. Initially I was trying to fit them perfectly, and they won't fit perfectly. The little green leaves that you see circling around, I think those are leaves, is telling you that it needs spirit. I guess it is a leaf. So you climb on top, and then you use the force palm thingy to slam them together. Otherwise it won't work. I mean, that's the only solution to get it to work. So, and you'll find a number of puzzles like that in the game. So initially I hadn't unlocked the fly up in the air and slam thing, which you're definitely going to need to do for some of the other puzzles in the game. Because there's no way to get it to work. So if you whether you know how to use them or not, you'll be sort of forced to sort of use some of the skills. So even if you go through a lot of the game where you're not using some of the skills that are learnable, I would say save some of your abyss cube thingies, since you don't know what you're going to need to unlock. At least I didn't know what I needed to unlock, and initially I was just putting everything in the sort of major category, you know, stamina, health, and spirit. But within those categories, you might want to save up just in case you get to an area where you can't move forward because you haven't unlocked a particular thing, and then you don't have the materials you need in order to unlock it. So, you know, part of the idea of sort of doing a lot of exploring in the game is that you find these abyss crescents all over the place, and you just get a one of those little squares from there. Actually, you can get quite a few. There are a lot of them all over the game. Okay, so this one.
Something you wanted?
No, buddy, I'm looking for the part of the wire that I need to connect. I called it a conduit. It's a cable. So you just need to connect a cable. And because that one was loose, I thought that was the way to do it, but it's not. It's a different cable. It's this one. So I guess the other one, because there was a walkway, it must go underground to allow people to walk unimpeded. Okay, so after you do that, you go and you turn this lever, and you can see which direction you need to push it in. Just look at the, like it can't go any further in that direction. And you can sort of see the path. It took me a while to figure out, why isn't this thing moving? And I realized, oh, no. You got to push it the other way, as you can see. Right. So the game wants you to really pay attention to what it is you're supposed to be doing. It doesn't matter which one of these things you push, actually. It takes a little effort, and when I walked up to it, it didn't move, and so I got a little sort of stuck with trying to figure out how to make it move. But you really just need to push and keep pushing, and eventually it will move. You know, it's funny. This is the 5th episode, and there's still a lot I'm still learning about the game. I think every episode I've learned something valuable. I think my only struggle is that there's so much to learn and so much to figure out that, yeah, it didn't matter which of these I went to. I could have, if I was patient with the other one, it would have worked. I don't know why I decided to go with the short, broken one. So there's a lot to learn in almost anything you do. In those days where I'm just exploring, right? I have days like that where I'm just going to explore. I'm not going to record content because I have no idea how long it's going to take me to find these 3 caves and things like that. When I do that, sometimes, you know, I come across something that requires me to learn something in order to complete whatever the task is. And it's okay. I mean, it's, you know, that was the first one I did, and I thought it was working, but it's really not. And this is the one I said you need to climb up. And the game gave me the hint of the thing circling around, and I had to figure out how to do this. Now it's working.
Piss on him. Nothing like a good punch up.
So the puzzles, I'm trying to think of a game that had the most difficult puzzles in the world.
Which mushrooms give the richest aroma?
I would say probably some of the earlier Assassin's Creed games. To me, the puzzles were very difficult. God of War's puzzles weren't all that difficult. Now these, it's a pain in the neck because it sort of forces you to use the Axion Force, which I don't generally use unless I have to. But you're picking up these little balls, you're putting it in these little openings. If you're successful, the little door will close and push it in. And the key here is I should just drop it. Right, because I hadn't dropped it, I was still holding on to it, it didn't go in. And a couple of times that happened, and it sort of rolled out, and I had to run and get it and put it back in again. Then there was one that was embedded in a stone statue that I couldn't figure out how to get out. You know, the game does not handhold you. I know people, at least in some of the, I guess, Reddit type communities have complained a little bit about the developers, you know, some of the patches making the game too easy. I have not found that yet in terms of, I'm getting electrocuted, in terms of any of the patches they've done so far making it easy. My understanding is they want to do a easy, normal, difficult mode, and I think that's going to be in an upcoming patch, and that's fine. You know, I don't know why they would need to do that. This is the one that's embedded in the stone. The thing I liked about Black Myth Wukong is they never did that, even though people complained, and I don't know how many people actually finished the game. There were tons of bosses in that game, and you know, especially the long bosses, the optional bosses, and you know, people were complaining that it was too hard. Some people made the same complaint about God of War, and you know, if you're persistent, no matter how hard the game is, you'll be able to complete it. Now, if you just want to run through the game to try to get from the beginning to the end, I don't think the developers made the game so that you can do that. They want you to develop the character. In order to do that, some of these things you sort of have to do. I think that's their intention. I think. I'm not a developer, so I don't know, but I think that's their intention. But making a game hard just for the hell of it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And I've played games that didn't have a game difficulty setting, and they're not equal. Some of them have been very, very difficult. Some of the Souls games, and some of them haven't been. You know, I mean, I like the fact that the Soul games are stuck with their gun. We're not going to give you an easy mode. But the difference is, you know, I'm not sure about this game yet, but in those games, you if you get stuck in an area, you just keep killing the enemies and increase your XP. Same thing with Elden Ring. You know, fighting Millennia 70-something odd times meant working my way back to the area where she was and fighting the same enemies over and I didn't run past them. You know, in this game, you know, I've since learned that since this is not an XP type game, you know, killing the same enemy over and over again doesn't really net you anything. Unless these enemies drop different weapons and different gear and stuff like that, which I don't think they do. Okay, so we're going to speak with this guy, find out what this is all about. Now that we have his kiln operational again.
Don't sit on your ass till the work's done.
I keep talking to these people.
If you take a job, you finish it.
I still have no idea what increasing the trust level means for some of these folks.
Ancient part.
But I'm going to keep doing it.
You know, I wasn't expecting much from a human. But the kiln's smoking again! I was so startled I nearly cracked my head on a bloody pot. It's working well! No, not just well. Perfectly. You have my thanks.
You're welcome.
I know. I'll make one just for you. I'll have it made in no time, and you'll not be disappointed, eh? Hold on, pot! Let's see, where should I start? About bloody time! It's finally done! This will blow his mind for sure.
Is the pot ready?
You're here! Finally! About time. You see that stone pillar? Move it, and the door will open. The pot's down below. Go fetch it yourself. Might take a bit of muscle. With those arms, you shouldn't have much problem.
Thanks.
Okay. Let's see what he's cooked up for us. Okay, we have a cuckoo pot. Now, cuckoo pots are for storing a bunch of different things, but what you cannot store in a cuckoo pot are living things. So, for instance, you can't go and grab one of the outlaws and put them in a cuckoo pot. Can't put your horse in a cuckoo pot. You can't, things like that you cannot put in a cuckoo pot. But what you can put your abyss cubes in a cuckoo pot, and you'll find these power cores like the one that I'm about to demonstrate,
What should I try
which are
this
fairly
time?
large, right? And you'll see them across the map that are usually in ruins or temples and things like that.
Well, now,
And you'll be able to store
this
these for
is where
use
the
later.
iron pots are tested. Here, you've got one of Grimnir's pots. Is that right? I'm telling you, that pot can hold anything, no matter the size or the weight.
Is that possible?
Hard to believe, eh? But you'll see once you try it out yourself. You won't believe your eyes when you just pop this boulder right in. Go on, take out the pot. Now, lift the boulder. If you can manage it. Feels lighter, doesn't it? Open it again, and the boulder will come right out. Use it whichever way you see fit.
For me, when I open it, it doesn't come right out. I end up having to discard it, and then it'll pop out. So I don't know whether that's what he meant, but if you go to the pot, you can see what's in the pot. If you go to your inventory and you click on the pot, you can see what's in the pot. But it doesn't give you it doesn't say if you click on this item, you can take it out of the pot. You end up discarding the item and it shows up on the ground next to you. And at this point in the game, I wouldn't have had a use for it. But there are some of the ruins and sanctuaries or sanctums that we will have to clear. And at the end of you clearing the sanctum, and the game doesn't tell you this either, there is a power core that you should take. So in the Witch's quest line, which we haven't gotten to yet, we will have to, first of all, clear the sanctum. And then get the sanctum operational again. And the game will tell you you've completed your task. But you really haven't completed. I guess you've completed your task, but there's one additional step that will be helpful to you. And that additional step is to take the power core.
These boots
I don't know what you're going to need it for, but if they want you to take it, then clearly there's going to be a use for it
Marching,
at some
I'll be
point
worn
later.
Clean through.
Okay, provisions management.
I just love organizing and sorting out everything.
Okay, so like Red Dead, we need to contribute to the camp. We can contribute money. We can contribute items in our inventory. We can package items for the camp as well. And you shouldn't ignore this, because the only way you expand your camp is by meeting certain thresholds. And one of those thresholds is giving this guy a lot of silver and a lot of weapons and a lot of those kinds of things. So,
the tanner's short on hides.
okay, and he'll give you other little things to do as well. Although, with all these gray manes hanging around the camp, I think they should be doing some of this stuff while I'm out saving the world.
What's going on? Kliff, have you seen Yann? He didn't look too good earlier. Came asking for coin, but had the eyes of a kicked pup.
Yeah.
They brought him food instead, but now he's up and vanished. Not a surprise. He's likely causing trouble somewhere.
Yeah, he's...
Kliff, Yann's in trouble.
Of course he
Real
is.
trouble.
Real trouble.
That idiot's been hauled off to the fighting pits. No time to explain. We need to go. Now. I'll fill you in on the way.
Yeah. Yann is a bit of a problem. He'd be one of those friends I'd have to cut loose. he's just... Man. It's like someone needs to be babysitting that guy. Hopefully he won't cause too much trouble for the folks at the camp. Because like I said, I mean, most of the times I'm out, I try to make it back to the camp every time I'm in the game world. I think every time I've done an episode, I've showed up at the camp.
Amongst brawlers. Brutal place. They settle things fist to fist. No steal allowed.
Got a feeling I'm gonna have
Winner
to fight.
walks off with a portion of the wages. That's where Yann is.
Did he break a rule during a fight?
He'd be better off if that were all it was. He got drunk off his arse and stormed into someone else's match. And of all matches, was the bloody finals. Huge purse riding on it. They had to stop the fight because of him. The arena's demanding compensation for the losses. Even if he had coin, you know Yann, he'd sooner fight every one of them than pay a single silver.
Hiya!
So, they've locked him up. And it's not just the money. Letting the man who wrecked the final bout walk free would shame the arena. They'll want something from us. Some way to save face.
I don't like the sound of that.
Neither do I. And if we don't get to him fast, it'll only make it worse. He's not the type to sit quietly behind bars. We're slow. This could turn ugly.
Maybe I should tell him to lay off the drink. What else do you know about the arena?
Right.
Big old place. Been around for ages. Draws fighters from all across Pywell looking to test their skills. So naturally, the wagers get sizable. Becoming the champion of the arena is considered a great honor. But you risk your life in every bout. Last time I win, half the fighters got dragged out maimed beyond repair. Crowds crave bloodshed, and the arena gladly gives it to them. Rumor has it they've got a shortage of fighters on account of near killing every combatant. He's a tough bastard, and even he can't take on an arena full of brawlers. Maybe we should have begged coin off Carl.
No, we can't go spending the camp's fund cleaning up Yann's messes.
Exactly.
If it comes to coin, we'll figure something out.
Exactly.
We ought to try and fix this by
All
ourselves.
right, Andrew,
first.
I like you. I think what you do is you make Yann work it off since he's gotten himself into this freaking mess.
So you did come running, just like your loud little friend said. How very loyal. Your comrade has cost us a large sum of coin. Now back away. No leniency. Not for this.
Should we tell them the offer?
All right. What do you want?
All we need is a crowd whipped into a betting frenzy.
Meaning?
One of you goes and fights in his place. It's settled. We'll see you inside.
Okay, I think this will be one of our first unarmed combat fights.
Good day.
Should be interesting.
Scars? Everyone's got a few in this line of work.
Which I'm not sure.
Words won't do much once steel's drawn.
What can I help you with?
Yeah, I don't know what scenario I would be unarmed in this little world we live in.
I've already sick of the quiet.
I guess Pywell. I don't know why I would ever be unarmed.
Do we have another challenger?
Okay, so it won't let you fight unless you actually take off all of your arms and choose fists. I guess I could have just done that. Maybe it would have let me do it, but you have to be unarmed. Otherwise, you won't be able to start this fight.
Show us your strength.
And you have to fight 3 times. Yeah, 3 fights.
That's the way of it.
Oh, still going.
Watching the grey mines.
Yeah, it's not a difficult little quest. It's a
You look worth my time.
It does make it interesting to break the game into these little side things where every once in a while you'll do something that's just relatively oddball. Like the arm wrestling one earlier, or this one. I know there's a gambling one. I hate gambling in games because I'm terrible at it. But I don't think I can progress certain things unless I do it. At least that one time. Whether I'll ever gamble again is a different story. Just like I don't ever anticipate another fist fight. Or any more arm wrestling, although that is a way to win money. So if you're trying to get money for the camp, that's one way to do it. The thing is, though, after you get all of your gray mains, and again, I don't know how many there are, the goal should be to keep them out doing tasks for you. Because that's the easiest way to make money in your camp. Just always dispatch people and have them doing things. And they can repeat those same things. The other thing is, of course, stealing, which I don't really like joining these games. I think of Kliff as a good guy, so generally speaking, you wouldn't want a good guy to be a thief.
You're alive. That's something. What a splendid fight!
I guess the game is showing us this because we wanted to come back to the fighting pits to gamble, make some money. We could probably do that.
Do we have another challenger?
Nope. But since there are like 85 zillion things to do in the game, this wouldn't be at the top of my list. You know, in the
No weapons, no
in those
excuses.
interim
Bare
periods,
fists.
I'll go cave searching. Sometimes I'll go search for a particular weapon that I've heard about. I don't think I've searched for an armor
Good,
set
that
yet.
more than covers the losses. We'll release your friend.
It's about fucking time. What? You looking to be made a eunuch?
Fuck's sake, you mad bastard. Shut it and walk.
Why? I did nothing wrong.
I'll take him with me. Aye, he's all yours.
No, that was Dwayne, not Andrew.
Why
Okay.
exactly did you cause a scene in the arena?
Oh, Solomon's low-swinging sack. That match made me want to gouge my poor fucking eyes out.
Jesus.
Slow feet, stiff stances. The sorry bastards look like drunk goats fighting. Couldn't stand just sitting there, so I offered a bit of friendly advice, eh? And you know what? The cunts told me to get in the ring myself if I was so clever. So fuck it. Give them what they asked for, right? So, those two cunts then team up against me. Coward bastards. So I crack their skulls, and suddenly, I've got the arena's private guard coming after me. So I handled them too. One after another.
Yann.
Oh, come on! The crowd loved every minute of it. Better than the rubbish they were watching before. I practically sacrificed myself for their entertainment. And instead of thanking me, they stuffed me in a cage. Fit for a fucking dog. If you're gonna build a cell, at least make it big enough to lie down in. Eh? Actually, more I think about it, maybe I should go back and finish the job.
Maybe we should have left you there a bit longer.
Exactly. He has not learned his lesson.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I don't get stuck on a quest with this guy because he's fucking annoying. Oh my god. Okay, now after rescuing Yann, we're gonna finally begin the witch's quest line. Because I believe that is the way to... I don't know whether it's to get better gear or whether it's to craft... Well, it's to get better abyss gear. Not better weapons, but, you know, abyss gear that you can slot into your weapons. We haven't done any of that.
Yeah, try showing restraint next time.
Cliff is so cool about all of this.
Fucking knackered. Oh shit!
I would have been
see
like,
Naira.
I would have been like, dude, you can't come back to the
Shut
camp.
up good this time. You know how she is. Starts bragging and never stops.
Oh my god.
Well, she heard about this archery contest at some wet-ass noble's manor. She kept bragging on at me she could beat me with her eyes closed. Silly cow. I was all set to make her eat a big slice of humble pie. I can't shoot a bow like this. Hey, why don't you go? Kick her ass. I'm sure Naira's already at the manor.
Okay, now I got to this point where I thought I was going to do one quest, changed my mind. Thought I was going to do a different quest, changed my mind again. So bear with me as I sometimes click on these things and then end up doing something totally different.
I need to figure something out. Can't let this go. Got a minute.
He wants timber.
Everyone's just asking Carl for things, one after another. And you know Carl, he can't say no. Just gives them whatever they want. At this rate, our storehouse will be empty before long. If we put a board outside showing what supplies we've got left, maybe everyone will think twice. I need some timber to make it. Can you fetch me some?
Why can't you do it? You're just standing here next to a cart that looks like it's full of timber. And all these trees right behind you. So it's a, well, I guess in some ways I'm going to compare it to Red Dead because it's more like that than any other game I've played in terms of the tasks that you do back at your home camp. In that game, you came back to the camp, you brought food, you gave them money. There was also chores you needed to do, like move around bales of hay, you know, things like that. Talk to all of your campmates. So you always have those kinds of things to do. And I guess this game is sort of setting up the same. I wonder if the tree can actually fall on Kliff. What would happen? So, and it doesn't take a long time to do it, but I got a feeling that by the end of the game it might be a little tedious. So maybe early in the game you do it, and then later in the game one of the other Grey Mains take over this task as Kliff starts doing more things. I don't know. I just feel like, you know, there could be a better use of Kliff's time. I could be wrong, but the other thing about logging timber is it does take up inventory space, even if they give it to you on a quest. And the very first time I logged timber, was it for, I forget who it was for. I ended up having to dump some things on the ground because I didn't have any space left in my inventory. But at that point, my inventory was relatively small. Now I have a little bit more space, but I still am carrying around way more things than I should. You know, still early game. I guess I worry a little bit about if I get rid of something, you know, am I going to need it? Like, I'm still walking around with Kliff's shield, right? The shield he started the game with. Is it the best shield? No. Have I found another shield? Not yet. But if I find one, I sort of feel like, because that's the Grey Mane shield, should I, you know, should I get rid of it? I guess I could store it. I don't have to get rid of it. I can just store it. Same thing with his outfit. Now, obviously, I've added the hat. Or the helm, which I didn't have initially. And I am going to I know I'm going to change outfits. I've already found a couple. And some are quest related. Like, in order to get into a particular place, you have to be disguised. And so you'd be required to change outfits for that. But in terms of utility, you know, like getting better armor because of you facing bosses and stuff like that, I have not done that yet. I will go on a armor quest. Dude, what are you doing? I will go on an armor quest at some point. You know, try to limit the number of videos that say how to get the best weapons, how to get the best
You brought
armor,
the
because
timber. Solid and durable. Just what we need.
when someone says
Once the board's up,
best,
everyone will be more careful with what they take and use. It'll make Carl's life easier too.
okay,
Thank you.
no worries. When someone says best, it's pretty subjective because it may be best for their playstyle. Okay, so Ronald's trust jumped way high. So maybe what's best for you know, for your particular playstyle, right? You know, I haven't used what's her name? Damien, the companion we got when we got this place. But I don't know whether there's a specific set of quests for her or not. I know with one of the patches they've made it a little bit
Just the one I was looking for.
more likely that you could use them.
I hear bandits have been harassing the apothecary lately. If we step in to help, we're sure to build a good relationship with them. And helping people will also send more work our way. Go to the apothecary, learn what you can about those bandits, and tell them to send word to us if they show their faces.
Okay, Ross. And that's easy. You're just going to go talk to someone.
Got a job?
Basically, you're setting up little side deals with all of these people that you're helping. I only have 2 comrades that I can dispatch. And you can see their skills. So one of the reasons for wanting to expand your Gray Main group is because they come with different skills, and I don't yet have particular skills for particular quests.
Take care now.
If you send them out on a quest, you'll get a little bit of a warning that they don't meet the requirements, but they could also fail the quest. So I've not, you know, there's only 2. So eventually you'll get enough of them that you can send out on little battles to fight bandits and stuff like that. Watch out for these little purple plants that I just walk through. They can kill you. I think it's the first time I encountered them. I wasn't sure what they were doing. I'm like, are these lilac? Because lilac shouldn't be poisonous, but they definitely sap your strength. There are a few environmental things that will pop up as we go through the game that you're not necessarily warned about. Some of the ore can kill you as well. Yeah, I did eventually get the horse, by the way. You're like, why isn't he riding the horse? He's just running through the fields. I speak to all of the vendors, although...
I've got everything set what I'd done, and there's a fair bit I don't.
I don't know whether it actually puts them on the map. But I speak to them. I guess they're on the map because the location, once you discover the location, you gain knowledge. This is the guy we're supposed to talk to.
You're here about the bandits? That's right. They came barging in and took whatever they could grab. Herbs, tools, anything. All of us are a little jumpy now, but it's hard not knowing if they'll be back. Oh, it's a huge relief to know that you'll help. If they turn up again, I'll get word to you straight away. Thank you, truly.
Okay, so that's the nature of these little quests, is that you when someone sends you out to talk to one of these people, you know, you'll do something for them, and they will then become available to you. He's an apothecary, so I guess he'll be able to craft some things for us in the future. And again, the map is just loaded with locations. You know, from a content recording standpoint, it's just way too much to like record everything. Because in some cases, like I said, I'm not on a quest. I'm just roaming the
How are
map.
things at the apothecary? You talk to them. I'm sure the folk at the apothecary feel safer already. Building trust like this always pays off in the end.
Yeah.
Good work. This'll do wonders for our reputation.
Okay. Okay, so that's done. So yeah, so there are these kinds of quests. There are faction quests. I guess this is what this is. There are commissions. There are just a bunch of different types of quests. And I'll always show the main quest, right? So that, I think, makes sense because then you can see how the game is progressing. But some of these other ones, like in the Hernand, one set of Hernand quests is really just about capturing the outlaws. And I showed you guys one of the outlaws that I ended up failing. I did eventually get him, so I will show that. But I'm not going to show me capturing every single outlaw. Yeah, I don't know whether you'll find that interesting. Okay, so we're here because this is the witch's location. And it took me a while to figure out that she's in a cave below this. This is an example of me using my lantern, but when I was in a different location, when I was higher up, the lantern sort of showed me a spot down here. When I got down here, it didn't show me that spot. And along the way, I discovered this. So it made it a lot easier to get back to this part of the map. There should always be one of these portals. If you're in an area that's expansive and you're like, man, there should be a fast travel point here, there probably is one that you're not seeing. In exploring parts of the game where there aren't quests yet, I don't know whether there'll be quests, but it's a huge map, and it's just exploring parts of the game. I sort of discovered that out in the middle of nowhere are these portals, and that makes sense because the map is just way too big to have to spend 30 minutes riding someplace to start a quest. I mean, you do it the first time, but once you unlock the fast travel point, you should be good. If you don't unlock it, then you have to do the same thing again to get back to what's likely to be an eventual quest. Okay, let's meet the witch.
A witch's age is always a secret. In truth, witches may not be able to do much at all.
So they can create the sockets for the abyss gear. They can remove sockets from one weapon or armor set and put it somewhere else.
In truth, witches may not be able to do much at all.
They can embed them in anything. This is the sword I'm using now. It already has abyss gear equipped, so I'm going to leave that alone for now. But my armor, as you can see, does not. And you can always, even if you embed the abyss gear in the armor.
Have you found what you were seeking?
I chose not to do it this time around.
Does not make you right.
You can always extract it later on if you get a better armor set that you want to embed the abyss gear in. if it's good. I mean, I don't know what's good and what's not in terms of this gear at this point. Okay, so now we can make Palmer pills. Because in boss fights, I burn right through them. Okay, so she doesn't say anything else, but by talking to her, or I guess by finding this first witch, it sort of unlocks the sanctum, the witch's sanctum quest. I guess it's a faction. The witch's sanctum faction. So what that means is going through and clearing out various witches' sanctums. At least in Hernan. I don't know whether every region has their own set of sanctums. But if you successfully clear all of them, all of the ones in this particular region, that's as much as I know. This is what was flashing up here. If you do that, then what you'll get is an opportunity to fight a very difficult boss that will yield you a very good weapon. And I'm pretty sure you cannot get that weapon without defeating that boss. See, in some areas, you can get to an area actually before the boss actually spawns, which is why I've been exploring. I haven't found one like that yet, but my understanding is there's one like that in Demonis, where if you go early in the game, the boss will not have spawned yet, and you can actually take that weapon. I won't spoil it by telling you what the weapon is, and I haven't done it yet. I'm contemplating doing it. I'm definitely getting to a point, not so much in this episode. I haven't struggled with enemies yet, but there are bosses that that I definitely am going to have to come back to. Okay, this is a quarry. And the boss in this quarry is the excavation. Actually, its full name is Marnie's Excavatron, sorry. It's a huge camp. And in these type of camps, as you can see, it's pretty big. I mean, this could be an episode into itself because it took me probably 2 hours to clear this camp. Mainly because I didn't want to end up fighting the boss and then have all of these guys sort of scrounging around me. And so if you get that 100% down to 0, whoever is left will run away, and then you can face the boss alone, or face the boss with only 1 or 2 people popping up as opposed to 50 people. So the first job is sort of clearing the area. The same thing is going to be true of the sanctums, by the way. When you get to a sanctum, there's usually these priests and followers of whoever the priest is at the sanctum. You have to fight them. You'll get the 100% thing, and then you whittle it down to 0, and then you can get on. And the reason you do that is because if you don't, they will not let you cleanse the sanctum. There's just so much going on, and you really do need to focus on what you're doing in order to cleanse the sanctum. So it's never going to be as easy as, oh, I'll just press a button and the sanctum is cleared. You know, it requires you to focus on doing certain things. And you can't do that if you got, 100 enemies shooting arrows at you or throwing things at you or fighting you while you're trying to do your job. So that's been my okay, I'm just taking a bunch of hits here for no reason. Oh, because I have the pickaxe equipped instead of my sword. Okay, my bad. My bad. Oh my god.
Die, Grey Man!
I'll slaughter all you beaten curs!
The good news is you can actually see what your progress is in terms of killing them. But it's daunting when you're in a camp this big and you see 100%, you kill like 10 people and you're only at 92%. It's like, wow, there are a lot of people to go through. Now, there should be explosive, yeah, there's one right there. There are these explosive canisters or barrels that you can pick up and toss into groups. I have mistakenly sort of gotten myself blown up by one of those canisters. So if you're fighting close to the canister, you need to be really, really, really careful, because if you hit it, it's going to explode. And because I still have Palmer pills, I'll be able to come back at 30% health. There is a Palmer pill that allows you to come back at 100% health. I don't have a recipe for that. And they seem to be pretty rare in the game. So, because boss fights are a significant level above the enemies that you fight the rest of the way. Like fighting through the camp, there are a lot of enemies. That's the problem. They're not strong. They're just a lot of them. Okay, so I figured I'll burn this little cabin down. One of the things that I found is that even after you do that, so I couldn't figure out, because some of them, like if you look at the display on the left, right? There's an infirmary, timber warehouse, barracks, and then the boss. Even after you destroy some of these structures, they still show over there, right? It's like there. I'm like, okay, well, I don't know why it's not going away. One of them I blew up completely. So maybe it doesn't matter. It's just telling me what these are. Or maybe it's just one of those elements in the game that's janky. I'm not sure which one it is. I know with the watchtowers, if you just shoot them with a charged shot from your arrow, they'll fall down, which is pretty amazing. But these are much more difficult to deal with. And Kliff has one hell of an arm. He can throw pretty far. So I did that. It barely damaged the building. And now I have all these guys sort of running after me. So I tried to get back to de-aggro them so I can sort of restart. There's always one trooper who runs faster than the others, while his buddies watch him get taken out. The good thing about the game is that you can try different weapons. As you can see, I have a spear. I am going to get another one. I'm on the hunt for the soul spear because it looks cool. The other thing I haven't been doing is refining some of the weapons, because that's how you level the weapons up. You can refine them, and you can use the abyss gears. So there are two ways to sort of level up your weapons. Your armor, same thing. And I guess I have this fear of using resources to do that, only to find a better armor set somewhere later in the game and not having resources to level that up. So that's sort of my fear. And it might be not worth fearing that, because maybe I could have just taken Kliff's current armor set and just level that up. Okay, not his current one, because I've already changed. I guess I edited that part out. I went from the Greymane armor to this armor set that I did find.
On with it then.
I should make a note so I can say those things instead of all of a sudden you see he's wearing a different armor.
Just die already.
I can't remember where I found that armor set either. Or did I buy it? I don't remember. No, Rhett sells armor. I did not buy Rhett's armor set, the set that he sells. So I must have found it during my explorations. And I think it's better than the first armor. These guys aren't giving me a break. I think it's better than the first armor set that I had. But again, I haven't leveled any of it up. So if I take, and I haven't sold it. I think it's probably still in my inventory. Kliff's original armor set is probably still in the inventory somewhere. So one of the things I could probably do, unless, because earlier there were a couple of quests where you had to disguise yourself as, like, you know, wear noble robes. You know, the other one you had to wear robes to get into this sort of priest area. Then there's research robes that you need. So I don't know, once you've gotten in and sort of befriended the people, whether you need to do that anymore, and whether you can just use your own stuff. Because if that's the case, I can sort of store that. I don't need to keep that in my inventory, because it just takes up space. And I've seen people who are really brave and they just totally empty their inventories before they go out. I'm like, wow. Except for food. You need food for the boss fights. You need food to heal. So I've seen people do that. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know why I hang on to it. Because you don't have to discard it. You can just store it. Or give it all to not Ross, the other guy, at the camp, and it becomes camp resources.
Scurry off to where you came from.
You know, because I will say the game is pretty. I don't know why I keep doing that. I just keep hitting the wrong key. The game is pretty generous. If you're exploring. I mean, if you're just doing nothing, the game's not going to be generous. But if you're exploring, or you're doing some of these faction quests and things like that, it is a pretty. I may have actually stolen that armor set now that I think about it. Anyway, if you're out and about discovering the land, you're going to find stuff. These caves will either have gemstones, or we'll have a treasure chest somewhere in there. So I think the key for anyone playing is it sure is easy to get overwhelmed by the game. And still, I struggle with, okay, what should I do next? If you stick to the main quest, it'll branch into some of these other things that you have to do in order to sort of expand the camp, support the camp and things like that. The other thing too is you do have to go back and complete some of the Hernan quests. I have not done a lot in Demonis yet. I haven't been to the other, obviously I haven't been to the Crimson Desert, and I haven't been to, I think there's another region. And then there's the starting region, Payun, the starting region of the game, which I don't think I've been back to. And if I have been back, it's the edges of it.
Oi. Careful now.
You can assassinate, but it's not that easy. Now you see one of the markers on the left disappeared, right? So instead of having 4, we have the infirmary, the barracks, and the boss. But they don't all disappear. So I don't know whether it's like a little bug that even after you've destroyed one of them, it won't go away for some reason. I can't quite figure that out. But in any case, as you can see, there's still a zillion people to fight, and this place is freaking huge. Oops. I wasn't trying to do that, actually. I'm hanging out here because this is a nice little choke point. One of the things I discovered in the game is always find a choke point. And if you find the choke point, stick with the choke point. Yeah, this camp, or this quarry, is brutal. And again, you don't have to take out all of them, just 100% of, I don't know what number they're using, because there's always enemies left even after you get to the 100% mark, or you get the 100% mark down to 0. Most of the other ones will run away. But there's always a handful around somewhere, so yeah, no, I'm doing the right thing. They just keep coming. And you have to be very careful not to shoot an arrow into this watchtower that you're on, because it will crumble. Yeah, or don't use a charged shot while you're in the watchtower. I think there is a way in the game to develop a way to get unlimited arrows. I have not figured that out yet. These guys running away from you. You should have thought about that before you... Actually, I guess they were just defending the place. I was the interloper, so I take back my unformed thought that you shouldn't have attacked me first. They didn't. So in the future, clearing a camp like this would be one of those situations where you're, because these guys won't help. You'll free these guys, right? This is also part of a quest, by the way. But it doesn't tell you how many of them you need to free.
Of all the rotten...
You'll see a count up, right? It'll always give you a count. So I don't ever know.
Thanks to you.
It just says free the people of Payloon, I think is what it says. So it's 20, 22, 23. And all you have to do is bump into them. You don't have to untie them. And then they act like that. So I'm not sure why. I guess seeing all the bloodshed around them is freaking them out. So...
Thank you. Really.
How kind.
Okay, well, they're very appreciative when you save them, so that's good. We're up to 45. So we in a place this big, we do pretty good in terms of the number of these guys we actually save. But again, I don't know what the tally is supposed to end up being. The game doesn't tell you. The quest doesn't tell you. It doesn't say save 100, save 200, save 1,000. It says free the people of, you know, like, okay.
You can't conquer me.
It could be a total game thing where there isn't a number. It's just that you have to, in every region, free the people of Payun who are being held prisoner. Could mean that.
I saw that coming.
But as long as you are able to get to a point where you create a nice little choke point, you pretty much will, my inventory is full, man. That's going to be annoying. As long as you can get to that point, you're usually pretty good. Because they're going to get at you one or two at a time. Okay, well, yeah. So, yeah, watch your back. I noticed on a little mini map too late to do anything and blew myself up. Or actually, he blew me up. Okay, so we fast forwarded, we cleared the rest of the place. Like some 45 minutes later, we got it to 0, and everybody else fleed. And this is the boss. Ronnie's Excavatron, or Excavatron. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. Interesting. Well, I don't know what I was doing there, but interesting fight. He has a number of moves. That one, you just keep moving. When he pauses like that, after those kinds of moves, he's always going to sort of stop for a beat. I'm talking 1 or 2 seconds. He's not going to stop for 30 seconds or 10 seconds. You should try to position yourself so that you can at least get 1 or 2 hits in on him. A little enemy over here. I don't know what he was doing, but yeah, this fight is weird because more of these little guys showing up. See, even after you clear, this is what I mean. Even after you've cleared the quarry, you see these little guys they're not really being aggressive or aggroing, but they're there. And so if you run into the corner trying to escape this thing, which, by the way, if he catches you, that's what happens. He knocks you in the air, and typically he'll come down and hit you. So the idea is to avoid that. I can't figure out how to get behind him because he moves too fast. So I just settled on just chipping away at his health. I'm sure someone else has figured out an easy way to sort of beat this guy. Those little drill bits on his hands hurt a lot. I tried blocking. That didn't seem to work with those. So what seems to work is just dodge out of the way. Now, one of the things I should always keep in my inventory is explosive arrows. Now, I don't know how much damage they would do to this guy, but I had them, I used them, and they're limited. And I don't know whether I have the recipe for crafting them. I might. I need to sort of figure that out because they're very effective on regular human bosses. I don't know whether they would be effective on something like this. But if regular arrows do a little bit of damage, I'm assuming explosive arrows will do more. I'm guessing poison arrows won't do anything. This is the charge shot, and that's the regular shot. And when he gets down to half health, he'll make the world go dark, and he'll have another move that's similar to the other one. I mean, it's not all that different. The only difference is there's a point at which he does shield himself. I think all the bosses do that. When you get to be like that, you can't damage him when he does that, when he has a shield. So the smart move is simply just back off, stay out of his way. The shield is not a permanent shield. I don't know how long it lasts. It doesn't last very long at all. If I go back and try now, the shield is gone. So you want to sort of avoid hitting him when the shield is up, because all you're doing is using your stamina, and it's not helping you in the fight. He's just going to stalk after me through this whole fight. It's not a very exciting fight. That's the move. So if he actually catches you, you're done. If he ends up catching you, thank God for Palmer pills. I'm too far along in the fight to want to restart the whole fight again. I'm like, no, I'm going to use everything at my disposal to do this in this round. It's not a one attempt fight. But when I got to this point, I decided use Palmer pills. Don't start this again. The fight will start with you right at the start of the arena. It won't start with you all the way back at the beginning of the quarry. So these are easily dodged. I tried dodging at the last second, and he seems to always catch me. So, right. So once he does, again, you gotta position yourself so that as soon as he's done with that move, you're close enough. I can't predict where he's gonna come up. So, like there, if I was closer, I could have gotten a couple of those slash hits in. Because it does seem to do damage. Now he's got the shield back. But again, the shield, the next time I try to hit him, the shield should be gone. I tried to take advantage of him coming out of the ground. That didn't work. He keeps catching you with that move. You definitely want to avoid that move. And I haven't been looking up strategies as to how to defeat bosses. You know, someone might have come up with oh, here's how you easily defeat the boss. I haven't done that yet. I am likely to get stuck on bosses where I actually do need to look that up. And my suspicion is it's going to be build defense dependent. In other words, it'll be based on your armor and based on the weapon that you're using as to how to defeat a particular boss. And I don't know whether it's worth sort of hunting down another armor set, getting the refinement up, doing all of that just to face one boss. And the next boss may be totally different. I have not unlocked the elements yet. That may be helpful in some of these fights. My understanding is that Frost is a really good one to unlock. Although I'm guessing it doesn't work against Frost bosses. So there's Frost, there's electricity, there's fire, and there's something else. I'm being ultra cautious because I have him so far down in his health. So that trade was definitely not worth it, but I think it's only 2 more hits that I need to take him out. Considering he can sort of take me out in one move. Oh God. Okay, well. Add the heal. Just need the... Oh my God, that would have been a good one. Alright, let's see if I can get him. He's shielded. Of course he is. Of course. All I need to do is get 1 or 2 more hits in, and I'm just... Right, I'm panic pressing buttons at this point. Yeah, well, I hope I have a palmer pill. Yeah, okay, because I am not doing this again. I think the use of the palmer pills. Okay, this is it. It's pretty fair because it only brings you back at 30%. It doesn't bring you back at 50% or 100% unless you have the special palmer pill. All right. Jeez. These guys. So I'm okay using the palmer pill. Like I said, it doesn't bring you back at max health or anything like that. You can find yourself in a situation where you use it and immediately get slapped and then offed again, which is a waste. But those, early in the game, I couldn't figure out what they were for. Because you can't use them. You can't go into your inventory and select palmer pill and actually use it. It's an automatic kind of a thing when you die. And you have a choice. You can choose not to use it and just restart the fight all over again. I think in the future, I probably would sort of fight the boss a couple of times to sort of see what the moveset is before using something like that. I think if you do that, then you get a sense as to what type of fight it's going to be. I didn't have a sense as to what type of fight that guy would be and what his moves would be. So expecting that on a first try I was going to be able to take him out probably was unrealistic. Yeah. Okay, so this quarry belongs to one of the lords back at Hernand. We're not done yet. Once we speak to Eric, who works for that lord.
Had a feeling it would be you again. Thank you. We were just ready to shift that massive rock, but the poor crane operator's gone and done his back in.
Okay.
If we can't get it moved, Well, every future project will have to be put on hold. For one last favor, could you try your hand at the crane?
Sure.
Here's the key to the control room.
All right. The one last thing before
I can't put
we...
my thanks into words. You've pulled me out of trouble time and again.
So one last thing before we move on is we get the key, we go to the top of the tower, we use the crane to move the thing that's blocking its way. Then we go back to Hernan and we talk to the guy who is impressed with the work that we've done. Okay, we have to hand crank ourselves up to the top. And one of the things I love about these games is when you look at the engineering of some of the things that they do, like this. I think God of War has some stuff like this as well. I don't understand why they give you the option to increase the speed and not just make it go faster anyway. Because it's not stamina based. At least I don't think it's. I don't know. Maybe if you increase increase the pace of that, maybe it would be stamina based. I'm not sure. Okay, so we go and we unlock the door and we grab the controls and then we try to grapple on to the big block that's blocking. Actually, I guess we have to move the block. It's not just get it out of the way. It's move it. At least I think it's to move it on top of an item where an thing that it might fit into. See, like this engineering. This is pretty interesting stuff. Hopefully it's not as rickety as the watchtowers, because otherwise you think it would fall down the moment you try to lift something heavy. Yeah, I don't know if this is... because we moved it out of the way, right? And it looks like... it actually looks like a type of power core. And now it's got me wondering whether I should go back to the quarry, snag it, and put it in my cuckoo pot. Since I've already done this, by the time you guys see this, I would have moved beyond this point. Let's see. This definitely looks like one of those core things. Okay, so now that we've moved it, they're able to continue their quarrying. yeah, whenever you see those kind of moves from me, it means, you know, my mind is still mapped to controls of other games. You know, where, you know, I mean, you can play 8 games and six of them will have the same type of layout. And then you play that one that the layout's just totally different. The control layouts or controls scheme is so different. And this is that type of game where it's just so different. And because they started it this way, if they patch it and change it, then it means adjusting to something else again. So it's a little bit of a interesting situation. I mean, if it's a 3-hour game, 300-hour game, then certainly by the time you get to the second half of the game, you should have adjusted to the controls. You know, for me, it's the combo. It's hit this button plus that button, and they're not like other games where it's the 2 buttons you would have to hit would be on opposite sides of the controller, so you're using your left and right hand. In some cases, it's hit triangle plus circle, or R1 and R2. R1 plus R2 instead of R1 plus L1 or something like that. I mean, it's just, you know, very different. Okay, so we're back in Hernan, and we're going to find that lord and let him know that we have cleared his quarry. You know, for a lot of these folks in Hernan that we interact with, at least the nobles,
I'll tip my cap to you.
There are going to be other quests that you get as well. So consider this part of the game like an ongoing kind of a thing that you can do to improve the reputation of the Grey Manes. Or I guess to enhance your reputation. You don't have a bad reputation. It's just that the more you do for the lords, the better your reputation becomes. I'm guessing later in the game you'll become highly sought after.
You can't truly have meat without this on the side.
Still don't have a gold bar to open my bank account. It's funny because I have diamonds. I have some redstones that are supposed to be pretty valuable, but I don't have the gold bar. I did go back to one of the mansions and try to steal it, but it wasn't there. Or at least it didn't give me the option to steal, even though I put the mask on and all that stuff.
I feel a weight off my chest. Ha ha ha! Well, well, here you are. If it isn't the hero of the house.
There's no need to worry.
I truly don't know how to thank you enough. Oh, come now. No need to be modest. I dread to think what we'd have lost if you hadn't turned up.
Thank the ancestors.
Please accept this. It's very special to me. And I'll be sure to tell His Grace what you've done. I'm certain he'll be glad to hear it.
Okay, another quest done. Okay, at this point, we're not going to start another one. We're going to wrap this episode up. We're at an hour and 40 minutes. I don't think we can get a whole nother quest in 20 minutes. But now that I'm done with Code Vein 2, I will go back to my 2 episodes a week of Crimson Desert, which will be Tuesdays and Fridays. And when I do things in between, I'll try to make notes and tell you guys what I did in between episodes. I'm going to always try to start the episode back at the camp, so you won't know, based on my location, whether I've done anything different. But I'll try to sort of highlight what's happened in between. I won't do any of the main story things. I'll only do side stuff and exploration. And the main stuff, I'll record all of that, and you'll see.
There's no one better than me when it comes to managing folk.
Yeah, we're going to be using the mission dispatch quite a bit more in the future. As we get more gray mains, we'll be able to send them out on greater numbers of these tasks. Which yields rewards. And so far, all of these have been in Hernand. I don't know whether, as the map expands or as we expand our knowledge of the map, whether or not we'll find other areas that we can send them into. It's just, there's still a lot of unknown in terms of me and Crimson Desert. Like I said, this is one of those games where in the old days, even the first Dragon Age game, I think I used a guide because I wanted to collect everything. It was fun, you know. But then all of a sudden, guides stopped existing, and you didn't need them anymore. Or I shouldn't say you didn't need them. You probably could still use them, but they just weren't as readily available. I guess if you went to IGN's website, they were available there and places like that. But for whatever reason, I just stopped using them.
Looking for someone with speed,
but in a game
strength,
like this,
or maybe a drinking
where
mate.
There's so much that is missable, right? I mean, there's no clear indication that you should go over there. You get close to an area and you discover there's a cave. The cave shows up on the map after you discover it, but before you discover it, it's just not there. And I think the upgrade, not in this episode, but in a future episode, the upgrades will let you know which caves you've completed. Because that was the other thing. I went to a cave, then went back to a cave thinking that that wasn't a cave I did, and realized, oh, I did that one already. So you'll get a little check mark when you've completed those type of locations, which I think is very helpful. But in any case, thank you guys for joining me. This is Reg with PaxAriaGaming. I will see you all in episode number 6 of Crimson Desert. Take care, and thanks for joining me. Hit the like button, subscribe, and comment. Thanks a lot.